Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for coming, and if you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And today I just want to talk to you guys. It's been long, and this video is inspired by a few of my friends, the ladies. So I'm just going to talk about this for a short while. So on one of the platforms on social media, Facebook to be specific, there was a topic about how this woman was asking if she was doing a right thing marrying a man who had a lot of loans on his payslip. I hope this video will not raise a lot of reactions because I'm talking to a lot of people from different locations, and so I'm just going to try to be as generic as possible because the ladies asked me to talk about it on this platform. So you guys, let's chat. Okay. So yeah, so why should one get married? Why should you get married in the first place? All right, that's the question you should be asking yourself. And what are those things that you need to put into consideration before you decide to say, okay, I want to be married now, or I want to marry, or whatever. Okay, so that's one of the most important questions one should ask. Okay, and then the other thing that comes into factor is how how are you looking at the other aspects of life. Let's say you're not just getting married. Getting married involves a lot of things. When you get married, there are a lot of things that you have to put to consider. So let's put this scenario into consideration now, okay? Because we're talking about this woman who's about to marry this man who probably doesn't get a thing, okay? Who maybe gets 10% of his paycheck, okay? Like maybe 90% is gone because he has to settle all the loans, okay? And some of the responses from the ladies were a little bit shocking, okay? And some of them were debatable and okay. So I'll pick out some of the responses that we saw were really some of the ones that we thought were okay, this has to be talked about, okay? So most of the people were like, okay, are you marrying a payslip or are you marrying a paycheck? So the answer is, sweetheart, you are not marrying a paycheck. You are marrying the person that has a paycheck that gets him almost nothing, okay? So let's take into consideration whereby maybe the lady works and the lady does not make a lot of money, okay? Or the lady does not work and this is the man, or maybe the lady works still and has a good pay, okay? And this man comes in, you do not even know how long those loans would take for them to clear, for him to have a full check, and and maybe he doesn't even have a side hustle, okay? So these are some of the things that you should take into consideration. What happens, okay? So this person only has that paycheck which pays him less than 10% or about 10% or 15% of the pay, okay? So what happens? How do you settle the bills, okay? How do you settle the bills? So the thing is, the bills to pay, okay? And that means if that person has less money on the paycheck, it means the person will still be getting other loans, okay? Because themselves cannot even manage to go the whole time. It depends on what's the nature of the problems. Why did he get those checks? Okay, that's another topic for another day. But the question that was at hand was this situation. Okay, so what would you do? Because one, even if the lady works quite all right, for how long is she going to be doing it? First of all, you're marrying this person because you love him, and if he came out honest, telling you why he got the loans, and it shows you just how he's going to manage, okay, how he's going to manage taking care of his family. Because whether you like it or not, I know people say, okay, this person has to come in halfway, the other person has to come in halfway. Yes, but the man, as a man, you got to lead. Okay, this is your family. Okay, you are not just going to let the burden be on your wife, because you have a lot of unsettled bills that you like you put on her. Okay, this is what she never knew. She, for her to come out to ask for help, meaning she was confused, she did not know what to do. And that would be any woman's reaction, or and the thing is that a lot of things will come in play. How about if I know some loans, like in Africa, in Zambia, where I come from, where the question was coming from specifically, loans last for years, okay, for 3 years, for 5 years, you just paying, okay, they're cutting on your pay, from your pay, every time they're cutting from your pay. So what happens in that 5-year period? What happens in that 2-year period? What happens in that 3-year period? Okay, so these are some of the questions you should ask yourself. Okay, it's not evil. It's not evil if you ask, because some women were making it like this woman was, some responses were like, okay, you're not marrying the payslip. So that got a stand to say, okay, nobody's marrying the payslip, you are marrying the person. And if you're marrying the person, what happens? Okay. Just what happens? Okay, you love this person. That's the reason you're deciding to marry him in the first place. Okay, that is not the question right now. Okay, the question is, how are you going to settle your bills? How are you going to live? Okay, because marriage or the wedding or love, like a lot of people say, love don't pay bills. But it motivates someone to make money to pay bills, right? That's what I always say. So money does not pay bills, but love does not pay bills, but it will motivate somebody to, it will motivate somebody to wake up, okay, have the energy to go and make money to pay the bills. So that is out of the question. Okay, we're not talking about love right here, because if we're talking about something that is reality, something that is real. Most of you people that are married, or that are, this question is actually not just married, even the single people. How do you live with a lot of loans on your payslip? How is life as a single person? Now you bring in another person, okay? So how is it gonna be? We're not saying life is not there. Life is right there, but how is it going to be? Okay, how is everything going to be if you include, if you say, okay, I am not marrying a payslip, I am not marrying a paycheck, I am marrying a person. That's all right. And we're not saying you're not marrying you're not marrying the person. We're saying, how is life going to be? So for me, I would say this man has to sit down, okay? Bring out a roadmap, or show the lady, assure her on how she's going to settle the bill, okay? But I wouldn't say this is the answer, okay? I would expect you guys to drop your comments and let's discuss this, okay? Otherwise, to help somebody out there. Or to be fair, sometimes again, when do you decide to get married as a man? We needs to follow the principle, whether you are you're Muslim, you're Christian, you are whatever. The thing is, as the man, you have to be on top of the game. Your family belongs to you. So you cannot say, okay, my wife will do this, my wife will do that, my wife will do this. Of course, she can do all those things, but take a lead, because you are the man, okay? You do not come as a man into marriage empty-handed, just like you would not come into marriage as a woman empty-handed. You have to come with something. What's your plan? What do you have? Do you have a job? Do you have a side hustle? What do you have? As a man, you have to be on top of the things, so you do not put all this burden on this woman. and then at the end of the day, instead of her getting the vibe, getting excited about marriage, she's now very worried about the loans. Okay, so I would say this decision is entirely up to an individual. We cannot specify to say, okay, don't marry him, marry him. Okay, you just need to ask the most important questions. Okay, and that will settle the matter. Yeah, Creflo Dollar, he talks about just how the questions you should ask each other before you should get married, and I think this is one of the questions that was there. Okay, and I would say I wouldn't give you an answer just to say, okay, do this and do that. Okay, ask yourself the most important questions. What happens? What happens? Okay, 5 years is a long time. You can say, okay, we planning not to have children in the next 5 years, but you know what, sometimes you can plan this and then something else happens. Well, how about if you have children along the way? 5 years is a long time. What happens? And should you say no? That's another question. Should you say no to a man because he has a lot of credits on his pay? Ladies, things that, for me, why should you marry a person? Should you marry a person because that person is poor? Should you marry a person because they are rich? Why should you get married? Okay, and if you as a lady has a solution to it, like to setting off the bill for the man, or there are ladies that have safe bank accounts and they have safety nets. You can just say, okay, I'm going to lend you, I don't know. So this is up to an individual interest. This is, for me, I would say, this is up to you. This is up to an individual entirely. Like, how are you going to manage? Okay, how is this life going to be? What plan has he got in place? Okay, because if already you guys are not married, right? Okay, you guys are not married. He has less less pay because of the loans, and it depends. Like I said, if he got the loan, maybe probably if the parents were very sick and it was a matter of life and death, okay. Or if he got the loan for something else, for himself, and okay. So I would say, as a man as well, do not be that selfish where you leave a woman wondering what to do next, because this woman loves you so much, and then you bring up this burden that doesn't settle her spirit so well, and she goes asking questions like, help me, guys, help me, what do I do, help me, what happens in this situation? So as a man, as a woman, as a man, when you're about to marry, when do you say you want to marry as a man? Okay, because it's going to be unfair for you to inflict the loans that you got, to put the burden of the loans you got from another place onto a woman who doesn't even know. Maybe she's coming clean, she's just thinking, oh, already adjusting to living with each other is, you have to, it's effort she's putting in, and then again you have to put in more burdens of her thinking about the loans and coming into marriage with that thinking. You guys, thank you. Thank you so much for watching, and I really, really do appreciate, and I want to see your reactions in the comment section. Okay, let's interact, let's talk about this, and just, okay, let's find answers. Should you get married? Okay, should you get married to a man that has a lot of things on the payslip